the grand finals of Soggyslopster going up against Keyistyq with Soggy with Twist of Fate Aphelios and Keyistyq with Twist of Fate Aphelios. So we have Singapore versus Malaysia, and Soggy seems like Soggy's hand right now has a really dead card in his hand, and it's called Mind Meld.
Yeah, we're probably going to find a pick a card for that. Most likely.
Yeah, so it's right now you see Keyistyq with the Spacey Sketcher. If Keyistyq could able to maintain a really aggressive board, a really aggressive start, he could able to chip in some damage into Soggy's Nexus in the early game, and he might be able to cheese, get a early win or early lead against Soggyslopster. And we know, and we have already seen this matchup in the previous winners bracket finals, where it all comes down to whoever has tempo on 4 actually kind of like has the advantage in winning this game as well.
Yeah, and let's see who of the players is going to play the Twisted Fate, or are the players going to play the Twisted Fate? It's a passing game for now. None of the players want to concede their Twisted Fate, and I think it is going to continue to be a passing game. Do you really want to give up any of your units? I do not think so.
Yeah, it's just going to be back and forth, both players, and how are they, gonna be. Who actually has the better hand, and this is basically what this mirror is all about, and how they actually play around.
I think you can go for something really nice. You go for Boxtopus, Aphelios, Crescendum, and you have 2 challengers and Aphelios on the board.
Yeah, so you see, and Aphelios coming in, and Soggy actually has the start. I have the early game with the Aphelios as well, but their Boxtopus might be a little bit of a problem to be dealing with unless Keyistyq actually has a great card to follow up to take out that Boxtopus the next turn. But I don't think it's gonna be a good way to deal with the Boxtopus.
And here it was Zero, hoping that he's going to see a swing turn. Nah, not today.
Not today, Zero. So yeah, it's in right now. Keyistyq has lots of ways to play around this one. He could go for he's going for the Return of the Stars, and he might have an early big Aphelios or big TF. Minimally a 4/4 TF is gonna be coming down, and I think if both players doesn't seems like they have the tempo, the Val tempo as well. So it's still kind of like it could be anybody's game at this point of time, and the Aphelios is gonna be 5/5 coming in. This is not allowing the Boxtopus to actually take the kill on the Aphelios as well.
Technically, you can go for silence next turn and try to get the kill on the Aphelios, but that's not accomplishing much because you pass the opponent the action, you're going to break 5 mana, so you're not going to have a lot of answers if you want to answer a potential buff on the Aphelios that is going to keep it alive, and in the meantime, if we see a Cascade, could kill your Boxtopus as well.
So anything. It's still possible. Right now, they're both having a Targon deck. Targon is best known for having Hush and Pale Cascade being used in almost every single Targon deck. So those 2 cards are really crucial, and you must respect these 2 cards coming in as well. And Keyistyq with just 3 mana, and I don't think he should be playing anything at this point. Passing over here back to Soggy might be the best answer, and at this point of time it's just a passing game, and I think Soggy right now has the upper hand because he has that TF on board already, and it's just a matter of time. Someone actually make a small misplay, and that's gonna be it for that player.
Somebody kill someone, please.
So this whole thing is just gonna go back and forth, and the Calibrum possibly might be a good opening for Sohi, and he might he is just looking to Calibrum into Gravitium. Like these 2 cards are probably the best guns that he could be looking out for at this stage of the game, and maybe a Crescendum to get himself that last copy of Boxtopus coming into play as well. So at this point, I think the Boxtopus, if you wish to attack with the Boxtopus, is also doable, and is also possible as well. So it really comes down to what how Keyistyq could answer whatever Soggy is gonna question him on this turn.
Can this game actually go to a tie after 40 rounds? I think it can. If both players have played their Twisted Fates, got killed, and there's only Affiliaces, they can shuffle Affiliaces infinitely until they can hit turn 40.
Yeah, so I've checked with the team, and if it comes to a state of a draw, right? Both players the player with the highest nexus actually gets the win based
And what
on
if they have the same HP on the Nexus?
well, but that is gonna be another question for the team as well.
Nah, let's hope we do not reach that conclusion. Let's hope one of the players wins.
Yeah, then here comes the Graviton going on to the Boxtopus from Keyistyq's side. I think right here, we might be able to see some attack and some attacking options from the Boxtopus moving forward. So we might be able to see some combat moving on in this game.
Joking, Mason. Attack. What's that? These two don't know nothing about attacking. There's no attacking here. Let's not kid ourselves. It's just going to be a friendly trade of spells into passing.
And an Equinox. I mean, the Equinox on the Boxtopus might be. It's not gonna do too much, to be honest. And this is not gonna do anything. And yeah, that's what you said. No combat is gonna happen. So he's gonna pass.
I told you did not want to believe me, but this is not going to be a combat turn. This is just going to be who has the bigger board.
Yeah, and wow, we're going to see a combat for the very first time in this game, and the Boxtopus is going for the challenge on the opponent's Boxtopus, and we believe a Pure Cascade is immediately coming in, trying to get that trade, but I think Soggy doesn't have the answer based on his hand right now, and we got a trade, so something actually died in this game so far, so it's not that bad. We're still sustaining in this game.
Is this turn 8 and just 2 units died?
I have no answer for that, but a Zap Spray Fin over here get himself a Hush, so more control options for Soggy in his arsenal as well. So since Soggy still have lots of options and knows what he could do and what he could play, and
I
it
think
wouldn't be
this
too much of
TF
a
is
problem.
going to level with the pick a card at some point. It has to. Please.
Yeah, he has to, and the TF is all eyes is really just on this TF and how the TF actually, if once the TF is leveled, Soggy actually might have the edge against Keyistyq, hopefully.
Yeah, imagine if we're going to witness a 20 HP tie.
Oh, that is gonna be like painful, guys. Oh, and he burns a bubble fish in the process.
Whoa.
Whoa, that is huge. That is something, something that he don't want to be looking for. Yo, that
Well,
burn on the bubble fish
that is your
huge.
punishment for not playing in time. I am kidding, obviously, but that burblefish might take off elusive little potential because you do have a mind meld. You might not be able to use it at its full potential. If one of the burblefish is gone, you have zap as option for elusives, but burblefish I think just does a better overall job.
Yeah, we see a TF leveling over here. That being said, Soggy is going on the full offense. The amount of value that he gets off that TF, all he needs to do is just find that copy of tempo that he needs, and he could be able to just roll over Keyistyq just like that. And the level on Aphelios as well.
Now Aphelios level, TF level. I think this game might just draw close to an end. I'm kidding. This game is going to take so much more, guys, but it is going to be fun, right? Because what else do you want than seeing a bunch of burst speed spells being played and exchange between the two players with minimum contact and minimum damage on the units whatsoever? And that's the game in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's all just a lot of back and forth right now. But at least right now Soggy has a better footing compared to Keyistyq. He has both champion leveled, and you know, he just needs to wait for a really good opening, and a Gravitium going on to their box stoppers as well, unable to get a challenger pick of their box stoppers. So at this point, it's probably still anybody's game, but Keyistyq's TF is just really late for the party, and it will be destroyed with just 2 red cards just like that. And if Keyistyq has to find ways to protect this TF and level up the TS as fast as possible to keep up the pace with Soggyslopster.
Watching the chat, I actually got an idea. What if we make an Ionia PNZ deck with Mina Swiftfoot and the Hexcore Foundry, so you fill the opponent hand and then you just recall their units.
Oh, that could work. That could work as well. Right? Since their hand would be forever full, but that could be a possible way, guys. Alright, so we have 19 more red cards to go as per what chat is saying. And oh, and you know, Soggy actually burns another card based on a full hand. At this rate, you know, we don't want Soggy to be burning. Soggy don't want to be burning any card at this point of time. And a Calibrum going straight into the box stopper, not allowing it to get any good, you know, good challenger trades. It could still be anybody's game, to be honest.
Yeah, it can still be anybody's game. And guys, there are star shapings, there are guiding touches. That HP can be healed, so there might not be a 20. There might still be a 20 HP tie. Why are we pushing this 20 HP tie? We don't want a tie. We want a win.
So Hash over here actually blocks TF from that red card that everybody wants to see in chat right now. So the red card, we're probably not going to see a red card from Soggy this turn, and Keyistyq's TF is going to just survive this round. And hopefully he's still trying to, you know, level it up real quick, and hopefully, you know, he could catch up to speed. But I don't think Keyistyq, you know, will be able to catch up that fast, to be honest.
I think Soggyslopster, if he is that afraid of this TF leveling, could just hash it. Like next turn, there might be an option to hash the TF. Now, both players have a leveled up Aphelios and probably a leveled up TF very soon.
Yeah, so it's really down to what, you know, Soggy could do against this bot. I think attacking for Soggy here is not exactly the best option exactly the best choice of things that he would want to do, right? So probably, you know, he just want to play out some cards so that he doesn't get milled again, and passing the turn here might be just healthy enough for him.
Oh no, I actually convinced someone to build Hexcore Mina.
Well, hopefully we get to see the next best deck in format. Might be that.
And remember, if you are going to see a Hexcore Mina past this moment, it was my idea and mine alone, and I get all the credits.
Clip that, guys. Clip that. So here we see Gravitium once again going on to the box first, not allowing it to go for any movement again. It's just gonna be like that, right? It's just a cycle between Gravitium and Calibrum, and it's just like, you know, ping 3 damage, stun this creature, current stun that unit. It's just gonna be like that over and over again for those players, and I think it's just gonna be what it is.
Alright, go for the hash. You don't want that stun to go to waste. We want the hash. There is no combat available whatsoever.
Oh, he's not getting the hash, but hey, he has another Aphelios gift, so he could just, you know, go for the Gravitium and try to fire it off again. It's not that difficult. It's just so manageable.
Stun every turn, heal every turn, let the turn pass, and we actually made absolutely zero progress from turn 1. I think it's just 1 damage from a random red card on Keyistyq's Nexus.
Yeah, but I think at this point, right, probably the only win con that we will see is the first player to actually meet a mind meld on an elusive target, and that is probably the best way to win in the mirror matchup. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the way ahead.
That is probably what is about to happen. You might even use the star shaping just to get that elusive system, finish the game once and for all.
Yeah, not forgetting they have Zap Spray Fin, they have Wiggly Bubblefish in their deck as well. They have Star Shaping to get themselves the Great Beyond. Then Mind Melt is is crucial. The Mind Melt is crucial.
You know how aggro players say that healing is cheat? These players just reverse the meaning of that. In this game, attacking and damage is cheat.
So we're still not gonna see any combat from both players. But I think what Soggy wants to have now is to have that red card to deal with that TF. Or he has the Zap Sprayfin. He's like halfway there, right? He has the elusive unit. He has the Mind Melt in hand. It's just a matter of time. Soggy actually goes for the fire and try to take out
I
Keyistyq
really
once and for
appreciate
all.
these players because they already played 2 Aphelios TF mirrors. Then they have the patience to play it, and potentially if Soggy takes this round, he's going to reset the bracket, and there's potentially another Aphelios TF. And if there is one potential, I hope one of them queues Fiora Shen. But what if both have the same idea?
Wait a minute, guys. So we just witnessed, another attack coming in from Keyistyq. So it's really rare that we get to see attacks coming in from both players. But Soggy over here, he might go for that Star Shaping. He might, pick a elusive, Celestials if he chooses to, or any form, of any form of finding himself a way to win. Probably a Zap. At least a Zap is gonna push in, right? And it's gonna take out Keyistyq. And pick a
Oh,
card to spawn
why
just
are
like
we
that.
burning cards? That is my question. Why are we burning cards?
Yeah, so burning card is probably not the best way that you should be dealing with this situation right now. And probably like what Starbringer into Dustbringer into.
Yeah, probably Lunar Dustbringer was the better option here, just to not mill yourself one card. Now there's nothing about it, but he does realize it because he was hovering over it a bit, trying to drag it. I guess he realized that he could have gone for that option as well. Could he though? Yeah, he could because he wouldn't have drawn any card. It was just
Yes.
Zap that you couldn't play here.
Yeah, exactly, right? So here you have a gold card going in onto the Aphelios, trying to take out the Aphelios. Guess what? Keyistyq has the exact answer to deal with that. But that being said, the Calibrum is going straight into the Boxtopus.
And probably yes, the pick a card was a dead card because you might want to mill your opponent and not mill yourself.
Yeah, so you don't want to be looking at, such cards like that. So,
I'm actually curious now. What if that's Keyistyq's plan? He's not leveling his TF on purpose, so the opponent TF can draw a lot of cards, and that way the opponent's deck is going to lose from deck out.
well, I mean, in a way, right? With the Aphelios spell, you're probably like, close to impossible.
There is a way. There is a way. If Soggyslopster keeps discarding valuable cards like he did before, he might discard a champion, not be able to play it, and that way, who knows? But he has one affiliate in hand, so that should be cool.
It's just gonna be like, it's just gonna be back and forth at this point of time, and you know, and this one is just gonna get himself a Calibrum. He just wants to remove the Boxtopus, and at the same time, Soggy is not allowing himself to be milled out in a sense, and it's just gonna be, like that.
Yeah.
We're nearing the end game. I don't think that we're. I think yeah. I think this is where we would actually see attacks coming in, as Mind Melt is
That is the
slowly.
mind meld. I think we're going to witness a mind meld, a huge attack from the mind meld, and then that is going to put Soggyslopster in a winning position and take this game 1-0. I think with the mind meld in play, there is not much that is going to happen.
Alright guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we see Soggyslopster firing off that Mind Melt, going in all in, tapping himself out, going for the full value of Mind Melt, making every unit 21-21. And I doubt that Keyistyq would be able to deal with this bot with this amount of huge units going into his Nexus.
This game ended faster than I expected. I would say at least much, but with 21 aiming at your face with just 10 HP and not really able to summon any unit to defend all of them, yeah, this game looks pretty over.
Yeah, and the star shaping over here is not gonna do too much of a difference. A falling comet is probably his best choice as of right now, but it's still not able to do anything. A pale cascade to not allow the affiliates to die. And that is it. I think that is probably it. Soggyslopster allowing everything on Keyistyq's side to be resolved. Red card, blue card, gold card into mind meld, ladies and gentlemen, making the whole board 21-21. Jellyfish moment.
Who would have thought we are going to come to this moment where one of the players is going to win?
Yeah, and here we have Soggyslopster taking in win number 1 with 1-0 with the TF affiliates mirror, and we're moving on to game number 2 with Fiora Shen. Just a little note, if Soggyslopster win this series, we will be moving on to the second set of the finals as well.
But jokes aside, no matter how long the games took, these two are very good players, so I do not expect for this to go as a 2-0 or at least not that easy. It's not going to be easy because we witnessed the games, the patience these players have put into it, the discipline of not playing spells when not needed to, and just drawing to your win conditions or alternate win conditions. In Soggyslopter's case, that was the mind meld.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, looking at Soggy's hand right now, it's kind of bricked. It's not going anywhere with this hand. Soggy might be in a little bit of danger if it's not drawing into anything of tempo. So I mean, look at Soggy's hand right now. 2 Fioras, 2 Sharpside, and 1 Nopify. That is basically a double pair based on his hand. And Keyistyq looks like Keyistyq has tempo. If Keyistyq has at least tempo, he is able to just run over Soggy and have we'll be having a quick game too, just like that.
I think we changed from playing Runeterra to playing poker with those pairs.
So he has that Tiana, he has that Fiora. Fiora is able to take an easy pick on this Dustbringer with, he has the sharp sight to deal with it as well. So it comes down, what does Keyistyq actually has an answer for this Fiora?
Well, there is only one way to find out, and that is by attacking. And if Keyistyq just keeps passing, there is no reason for Soggyslopster to not keep passing. He has a 2-1 that is going to get eventually killed. There is the Veiled Temple, and with Veiled Temple, everything is possible.
So we have been a long way, right? We have casted a long time, and I realized that a long time today, and we realized that today we learned a very good, valuable lesson that the Veiled Temple is such a great card, and as long as it's on the board, it's so difficult to be stopped.
Yeah, some people would have said that it is not great but decent. I would straight up say now it is a very great card that can enable win conditions just all of a sudden, can get your units out of a lot of range of removal unless you are running Shadow Isles. I think the way to approach this meta is just running Shadow Isles in order to remove units.
Yeah, and you need things like hard removals of like Aftershock or like Scorched Earth again. Like all these cards would be crucial against like a landmark heavy meta right now with the Veiled Temple, Hexcore Foundry, and also Star Spring as well.
Alright, we see pick a card. Maybe Keyistyq is a little bit bricked, but that pick a card might help him unbrick himself. He is drawing a lot. What if there was a TF on the board? What if?
So yeah, as of right now, Soggy is kind of like trying to stabilize the board. Looking at his hand right now, he could easily go for a Fiora win con if he decides to. And there's so many ways that he could try to win with this particular hand that he has as well. So the tempo, hopefully the tempo is not able to push Soggy a little bit behind in tournament. But as of right now, I think Soggy is kind of comfortable and just trying to heal the Fiora back up just with the sharp side.
Is that just a heal potential? Because I am thinking, what if you want to use that sharp sight in order to block an elusive? What if that is committed already, and now you won't have the option to save yourself in case there's a huge elusive hitting?
Well, but as of right now, I think Soggy is just trying to allow that Fiora to survive as long as possible. I think that is his game plan. I hope. I think so.
Well, I need to mention though that that is the only one copy of Fleet Feather Tracker. So we see the rare side of the only copy of Fleet Feather Tracker in the whole deck.
Yeah, and hopefully that Fleet Feather Tracker could take some easy picks, right? He could kill off a Zap Sprayfin, he could kill off a TF. So the Feather Tracker might be good enough in this sense.
Yeah, it might be. At the same time, you can. Oh, we see the red card. What are we going to witness? Deny. That is too expensive. Is there going to be anything else? Not very likely. Concerted Strike is not worth it, and it is also easily countered by just Bastion. So I think he will let this through, unless he really wants to preserve his board advantage.
Taking this red card is probably the best move that Soggy has as of right now. And that being said, he has to risk the Fit Feather Tracker from being removed from the game, but I don't think the Fit Feather is gonna be worth too much at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see if Soggy can impose his board dominance and his Fiora win con to begin with, because even though that Fiora has been healed last turn by the sharp side, now she's going to take additional damage, and it is going to go to 2 HP, which is a dangerous threshold in this moment, considering the units on the board, considering that there is the Veiled Temple, so your Fiora needs additional protection if she wants to kill something.
Exactly, and the Moon Glow that immediately going in onto the TF. It seems like Soggy is not wasting any more time to play around the Bastion. Is going in for that Concerted Strike, trying to take the TF off the board. And
Wait
I think
a second.
the temple has already been triggered, right? So there's no.
Wait a second,
way
why do we try to do that when we can just Notify? Or do we just try to do this and then get another answer out of the opponent and then we just Notify?
Well, that could work as well, right? So he could go for the Notify and then see what Keyistyq could do, and then follow up by a kill on TF. Like that is also one of the ways that he could play around it as well.
At this point, you are giving up the information that you have an additional way to deal with your TF, no matter what spell you are queued. So if you queue Notify, the opponent might know that you have a spell that can kill the TF. If you queue the Concerted Strike, your opponent might think you have a Notify or a Deny.
Yeah, so he denying that Moonglow, and it's just putting the TF closer and closer in range to be removed by the Fiora. That and also he has the repose, he has sharp sight to deal with the TF as well. So at this point, it could be anybody's game, to be honest. But looking at Soggy's hand, like there is a way, there's a chance that he will be able to take the win with Fiora.
Yeah, especially because we also see a Tiana in Soggy's hand that is... Oh, Tiana and Brightsteel formation. Now that is a finisher that I'd love to see.
Yeah, he has to be wide enough, like in order for this combo to actually pull off, right? He has to be wide enough. He has to be be able to deal with Keyistyq board. As Keyistyq will always be one unit slower compared to Sloggy because of the Vault Temple actually taking a slot on the unit slot as well. So passing over here, wasting every single mana from Keyistyq and a second temple coming down.
Oh,
ouch!
Another temple. I mean, there is a Tiana on the board, but I loved the pass from Soggy because he recognizes he's quite heavy on his own hand, so playing for Brightsteel and Tiana outs is not that bad. On the same note, though, there might even if there is a heavy hand on Keyistyq side, it's going to be made much easier to be played because of the Veiled Temple that is going to give mana back.
Yeah, and Phileas over here, and he gains back like 2 more mana just off this, and we probably wouldn't be seeing the Tiana coming down anytime soon. But I think as of right now, what Soggy wants to do is to have as much, as to try to level up the Fiora, and hopefully he gets the win as fast as possible.
Just judging by today's games, I think the best change that they could bring to the Veiled Temple could be just to not award normal mana. You could just award spell mana.
Spell mana, yeah. It's because of it being a normal mana, that's why it's so much of a problem per se.
Yeah, that might be the case. Now you have the option to deny, to preserve your units, to preserve your board. And if you are pushing for that Tiana win condition and that Brightsteel Tiana win condition, Zero Infinity, it might be a dead card, but will you actually cry that much?
Okay, so I mean, with 4 mana up, he has ways to stabilize this board, right? He has that single combat if he ever wishes to take out the affiliates. But as of right now, it's not. He could just take a chill pill, not do anything, pick a card. He's desperate to look for answers. And that being said, the affiliates is probably in range to be removed with the 4 attack River Shaper as well.
3 River Shapers. Alright, today we are controlling the river.
And the Brightsteel Protector coming in, giving every unit in his field barrier. So this attack is probably really good if he ever goes for it. The Graviton not going to do too much of a difference, as right here Soggy has a really good trade on the Spacey Sketcher, and at the same time pushing 4 damage if you wish to, and likely to see it Harsh over here, which is gonna get countered with a Spirit, which can't be countered at this point. So
yeah, it can be countered. It's just single combat with your Brightsteel formation, and that way you counter the tutu. But at the same time, oh, he decides not to counter. Does he want to play the second? Is there a second Fiora in hand, or is that? Yeah, that is a second Fiora.
Yeah, so with the second Fiora, he could try to win with the Fiora once again, but it's gonna be slightly tougher, especially with the affiliates getting bigger by the turn. It's getting +2/+2 from the Vault Temple every single turn. And guys, the Vault Temple is just too much to be handled. Just by doing nothing and playing 2 cards, you get +1/+1 on your strongest creature, and that's just so difficult to be managed.
For this game to be truly into Keyistyq's side, he needs to find some obliterate mechanics, but even then, if he finds that, there are denies in Soggyslopster's hands, so those are going to be dealt with.
Yeah, and here we see two box steppers coming down for from Keyistyq, and an easy removal onto the affiliates, saying enough is enough. I'm gonna deal with this once and for all. The Moonboy is going down.
Are you going down?
Nah, I'm still here. Affiliates just went down. But yeah, I mean, we get to see a stun on the Brightsteel Protector again based on the Gravitium. But it's gonna be a removal for these two River Shaper. It's not gonna make too much of a difference. I think a Tiana or even a Screeching Dragon would be a good drop for Soggyslopster this turn. Just Screeching Dragon is probably a good drop for Soggyslopster.
I think at this point in game, Soggyslopster drew more cards than Keyistyq did, and he is the TF deck.
You got a very good point.
So now you can basically go for development on the dragon, but I think you need to choose between the Fiora and between the River Shaper, or not choose at all, accept this block, and then push forward from there.
Yeah, so as of right now, Soggy is in such a commanding lead. Crescent Strike.
Crescent Strike, that is going to be denied most likely because you do not have another answer. You still maintain your opponent on his toes.
Yeah, like right now, the caretaker is gonna be so huge. He could even like follow up with a Tiana after that as well. I mean, as of right now, he is trying to protect the box stoppers. Here, giving it so much hues, but I don't think it's gonna make too much of a difference, as you know, Soggy has a good and clear attack if he chooses to. He has the Relentless Pursuit. He has the Tiana. He has
What
so
are,
many ways to actually remove
what are
that
we
box
really
stoppers.
searching for if we're Keyistyq? Because not much can be played and save us at 6 mana. I think we just accept our fate.
Probably a Twist of Fate into a go-kart and like not allowing the Bright Steel Protector to move like that, or you know a Philios into a Gravitium like that is to not allow the it's basically he's trying a way to not allow the Bright Steel formation to move.
Even if the price tail formation is not going to be allowed full freedom, you still have a lot of units that can have full freedom. I'm talking about Tiana, I'm talking about additional river shapers, and even a Fiora that can be dropped.
Exactly. So I mean, right now Soggy has so many options, and you know he could do whatever he wants. To be honest, and once Keyistyq is tapped out, Soggy has a full range of whatever he could do. If whatever he wants to do, right? He has that. You know, he could play around with his mana, just leaving 3 mana up for that Relentless Pursuit. He is able to keep Keyistyq in check just like that. And the Tiana over here could just close off the game, giving him a
I
rally and bringing Keyistyq down.
I do not see an out for Keyistyq when the Tiana hits the board. I do not think there is an out even if we develop more and then go into Relentless Pursuit. I think you just go Tiana and finish the game once and for all. You don't have all the time in the day, and we see the concede, and Soggyslopster takes it to 0, which means there is going to be a bracket reset.
Yes, guys. So we will be seeing a bracket reset in this game, and yes, guys, we are gonna see a rematch of those two players. Yeah, we might be seeing that Aphelios, TF Aphelios
Don't
rematch.
jinx it. Don't jinx it. We're not friends anymore if you're jinxing that. Alright? We're not friends anymore.
Well, but both players actually on the way. Keyistyq is ready. They are just waiting for each other to go, and we are, you know, we will be able to move on to the second game in the second set of best of three in the grand finals. It could be anybody's game. Whoever takes it is gonna take the win on this week's Dragon Summit. And could it be Keyistyq from Malaysia, or could it be Soggyslopster from Singapore? Both having the same deck, TF Aphelios and Fiora Shen. They're probably the best deck in the format right now. And I think, you know, maybe the next deck might be a Hexcore Mina from Casmin.
There might be one. I will try to build one just for the memes. But regarding to the thing that TF Affiliates being banned from next tournament, I don't think maybe TF Affiliates is going to be around for next tournament with all the new Shurima cards.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this deck is pretty solid, and if the Shurima cards have no ways to actually deal with this Vault Temper, or you know, the TF or Affiliates, this might be in a little. They might have a, you know, this deck we might see it in subsequent sets release as well. So but in the meantime, you still kind of have to deal with, you know, TF Affiliates moving forward for the end of season tournament, which is happening tomorrow and the week after as well.
Yeah. And are the players ready?
As of right now, Keyistyq is still they're still waiting for each other, to be honest, and yeah, we're still waiting for the game to be accepted by those players. Uh, Based on a few minutes ago, they are asking for you know, the green light to go. We have already given them the green light, so it's all down to you know, the delays, and hopefully, you know, we get the game as fast as possible for you guys.
Awesome, awesome news. What have you been playing, Moonboy, this end of the meta and end of the season?
What's that to say? Timo, of course.
Something else than Timo. Let me rephrase that, please. Thank you.
Wait, before I answer that question, we are jumping right. Very, last game, the very last set of the grand finals. Soggyslopster going up against Keyistyq. It could be anybody's game. And we have, as what
TF
we
Aphelios
expected.
Mirror, no! My life is ruined! My life is ruined!
But we could look at Soggy's hand right now. Soggy's hand is not exactly looking very great. And, looking at Keyistyq's hand, he might have the upper hand in terms of the early game. So, I mean, it's too early to say, right? Soggy has the Vault Temper in the early game as well. It still could be anybody's game moving forward.
I'm honestly going to ask Keyistyq if he takes this one. What did he took him so long? Couldn't he do this first time?
So passing the turn back to Keyistyq. Keyistyq could go for a Aphelios here easy, as he could start racking up more damage, with Aphelios into Chrysandrum, getting himself another Boxtopus. But based on Soggy's hand right now, it's not looking very good. It's not looking exactly the best way that he wants this game to be moving forward. And with, even if he drops this Boxtopus in his hand, it's just merely a blocker to be facing against them.
Alright, let's see what we're going to see being picked. Probably, yeah, you just see the Boxtopus being played. It's going to threaten the Aphelios. Easy peasy.
Yeah, but I mean, look at this, right? So he has the Boxtopus in hand, ready to be fired. But that being said, if there's no way that Keyistyq could be able to protect the Aphelios as well. So, the Boxtopus would get an easy pick or easy trade on the Aphelios if he ever chooses to. And
You cannot save that. You cannot
yeah,
save that. What happened?
fair enough. But as of right now, Soggy has no ways to defend against this attack. So, yeah, I think Keyistyq might be in the upper position in this point.
Wait.
But it really matters, right? It doesn't really matter unless that once that Vault Temple drop, nothing matters at all.
We're seeing attacks before turn 10. What's happening?
Well, I believe the attack is probably happening because the bot state of Soggyslopster is just too slow to be handled with right now. And yeah, this is gonna be an easy kill on the Aphelios. And there is no way that he could protect it.
You could
unless
try
he
and
goes for
go for protection with Bastion, but that is just going to bite you because there is going to be a Bastion played by the other player.
Yeah, and here we see a healing and get himself
nice,
a TF
nice
as
hand,
well.
by the way.
Keyistyq is kind of like rolling, to be honest, in this matchup.
Yeah, he is rolling. He could have played the Boxtopus last turn, go for maximum damage. I don't think there would have been a punishment, but he decided to play more conservative. He doesn't want to lose when he is in a winning position already.
Yeah, so playing it slow, playing it chill, playing it just the right amount of time. And here we see a pick a card coming in from Keyistyq, and it seems like he might be going for a Twist of Fate over here. And Soggyslopster kind of just left with the, it's gonna be a Vault Temper turn for him this turn. It's just a matter of how is he gonna play it out, and is he really is he able to get some value off this Vault Temple immediately?
He doesn't really need to get rid of the Veiled Temple, to be fair. He can just go for his development plan. The opponent can go for more development because he has the Lunari Duskbringer into Dusk Petal that can give some mana back. But at the end of the day, that is not going to be enough to seal the deal.
Yeah, and you see another attack, guys. Another attack coming in, and a Vigor going in. He gets the trade. He gets the trade onto the Boxtopus because of the Vault Temple. So probably from here on, the Temple might be able to bring Soggy the victory as well. But it all comes down to if Keyistyq is able to level up the TF as fast as possible, and it seems like Keyistyq on his hand has a copy of Temple as well. So the favor might be on Keyistyq's side at this point of time, as both players have equal as Vault Tempo as well. It could go any way, but with that TF in Keyistyq's spot, Keyistyq has the upper hand at this point of time.
I would think he might that Soggyslopster might have gone for the Dusk Petal here just to make use of his mana. Probably he realized that as well because he lost on the attune.
Yeah. Well,
Yes,
Calamitas, you have a point.
yes, Calamitas. This is exactly the punishment for playing for BMing 2 hours ago, or for playing
So
2 hours to begin with. That is a punishment.
and a bubble fish on 4. This is really rare that we get to see a bubble fish on 4. And a shakedown is pretty interesting as well. It gets to kill the TF if he chooses to, but he's playing straight into an astral protection if if he chose to go for this line of play.
Your opponent has some cards that are fleeting, so you might as well just leave them be, let the opponent actually do the moves. Unfortunately, there is a move from Soggy's side, so Disaster Protection is going to come down, protect the Twisted Fate, and this is how the trades are going to end, at least for this round.
So Soggy is losing the trade right now, the trade game right now, and
He might just be tilted by emoting every single turn, and with such a bad hand, how can you not be?
yeah, I mean right here TF levels out as well, and and another copy of Vault Temple from Soggyslopster. And Soggy is not wasting any
That's
time.
true.
He's going for the concede. And Keyistyq taking round 1 of the second game. It could be his game if he managed to clinch the win the next turn as well. And guys, finally, Keyistyq, something is moving in this matchup.
Something is moving. But wait, this didn't take 2 hours.
Yeah. So that is a good start. So here we have the round number 2 of the second game of the grand finals with Soggyslopster sticking on with TS Affiliates with Keyistyq with Fiora Shen. And straight off the bat, Soggy has the Vault Temple, he has that Twist of Fate. All he needs to complete the Trinity is the Affiliates, but sadly, there is no Affiliates in sight. If right now it's gonna be the same scenario, right? If Keyistyq goes for a really aggressive start, Keyistyq might be able to take the win.
Yeah, definitely. We do have the Lunari Duskbringer, and we do have 2 more turns in order to draw our Aphelios if needed. It would be nice because Aphelios is such a tempo swing. You just put it. Oh, look at it!
What else is there to say about this matchup, right? He has that Aphelios, this River Shaper is not gonna do anything. Soggy is gonna redeem himself, he's not gonna allow Keyistyq to do anything this turn. And the Calabrium could just remove that River Shaper if he ever chooses to.
Yeah, I think you don't go for it, especially because Crescendum is removal and the body on the board. It also forces some resources from the opponent, and if they don't have it, they don't have it.
So as of right now, right, Soggy has options. He could go for the Chrysanthemum, and then he could have a kill on that River Shaper if Keyistyq actually goes for the pass, or he could even go for a Vault Temple into Chrysanthemum. That's something that he could do as well, or even the Twist of Fate.
I think the moment your opponent sees you playing Veld Temple is the moment that they're going to feel so safe because they don't need to play around anything anymore. You just play Veld Temple, then you play the Crescendum, and then he's like, alright, no counter, I just play however I want.
Yeah, probably the Chrysanthemum might be a really good start against Keyistyq this turn, since there is no way that he could trigger the Vault Temple anyways. So this might be the best form of play.
Alright, that is leaving us options if we are Soggyslopster. We are not using all of our mana and just give the opponent the green light to use whatever spells they want to remove our units. Is that an opify? No, this is actually a deny. This can also give us the okay to go for the Veil Temple instead, or we might want to go for Pel Cascade instead just to get the Moon Weapon.
Yeah, I mean, even he could go for a moon weapon and then try to remove the the River Shaper this turn as well, so it's definitely not gonna be a Vault Temple turn. And he got a Caliber, and the Caliber is able to remove this River Shaper. But the question is, why go for the no Guiding Touch instead of the Pale Cascade?
I think that decision might be for outplay potential at this point, because having +1/+1 doesn't matter that much in terms of HP as it matters in terms of damage. One damage might not seem much, but in a specific situation that might save Soggyslopster and might get a kill on a unit.
So with the sharp side, this Calibrum is not gonna do anything, and we wouldn't be seeing a combat phase this turn as well. A Hush from Soggy's hand, that could actually do lots of difference moving forward. And we know that Keyistyq kind of don't really have a good hand, and let's just take a look at his hand. You know, a River Shaper, single combat, and also a Deny as well. So the Hush is probably good enough if he ever chooses to block, you know, the River Shaper if he wants to.
I think the main point that is being made by Keyistyq here is you cannot play Veiled Temple. You simply cannot, because once you do it, I go full development and I'm going to punish you. So you are not allowed to do it.
Yeah, so you know, Soggy really thinking deep. You know, one loss over here could just cost him the whole day, right? It's just gonna just finishing off with a second place instead of winning this whole thing, and all the effort is just gonna go into waste. And he's not gonna block this turn, just taking 5 damage, or he could go for the Hush and not allowing the River Shaper to draw anything.
The problem here is if you go for the Hush, your opponent can just have Sharp Sight and then your Aphelios dies in vain. No matter what you're doing.
So he's not gonna go for anything. He's just taking that 5 damage, going for the Vault Temple, playing it safe. And you know, if he could develop the Vault Temple and level up the TF, that could, you know, he could have a upper hand perhaps in this matchup.
I think you cannot go in this situation for the Twisted Fate, but what you can do here is go for the single combat on Aphelios, probably from the free 2. There is nothing that can protect it, so you just remove the unit. Just do it dirty.
Yeah, this is a very free single combat on the Aphelios, knowing that he has no way to protect the Aphelios in that sense. And the Boxstopper is coming in as well, which is a very good removal for whatever that's coming down, or he could just remove that River Shaper if he feels that the River Shaper is just too much to be handled. Screeching Dragon, not gonna be too much for now.
Well, you can remove a River Shaper, you cannot remove a unit that is protected by a barrier with the current hand if you do not commit. If you commit your mana and go for the Twisted Fate. You might go for the Twisted Fate just to start leveling it up, but the next thing that your opponent is going to do next turn is just challenge your Twisted Fate.
Yeah, I mean, he could like go for a gold card and then challenge on the Screeching Dragon if he chooses to as well. You know, but I don't think that would be the smartest idea to be doing that. So Twisted Fate over here, and it's not gonna do too much. Like it's gonna get challenged the next turn, irregardless. Or he could go for a Gravitium and just, you know, just pin it down with stun.
Probably that's the line you're going to go for. Probably if you are Keyistyq, you let this through because River Shaper done its job, trimmed your deck. You still have a lot of spells that can help you enable good trades. Also, you do have another River Shaper if this one dies.
Yeah, so I think Keyistyq is still kind of comfortable in a way, but Soggy is just gaining value after value after value, and I think, like, you know, if Soggy actually keeps this value engine up, he might be able to just pull through this whole series.
Well, he definitely started on the wrong foot in this second round after he reset the bracket. So he has the chance to redeem himself, push this to 1-1, and we might have a Fiorashen mirror in the last game if Soggy wins here.
And so we get the pass over to Keyistyq as well. So I mean, look at Keyistyq hand, right? It's all really reactive stuff. But at the same time, Soggy has nothing but burst speed in his hand as well. So like those counter spells are not exactly doing too much for him this turn. But this is just gonna remove this Twisted Fate right here on this on this turn. So probably like not going for the Graviton last turn might be a little bit risky. But there goes, he has to see that TF goes for this turn.
Is he going for an aggressive approach? What is he playing? Why didn't he play the Gravitum? Those are the questions. Is he trying to go for a pick a card and into a lot of Burble Fishes? Does he hope for that? Does he go for the out of Mind Meld? There are a lot of variables that he can take into consideration.
Yeah, but based on his hand, he's no Mind Melt, and hopefully he's drawing into one, and you see a TF and 2 Vault Temple, and into a Mind Melt. So
you can play all the Wealth Temples, get your mana back, and play Twisted Fate.
Yeah, like that is exactly what's happening. He could even like go for Twisted Fate and play a free Bubblefish this turn as well. Even the Chrysandrium, like that could also be played on the same turn.
Unfortunately, that doesn't go through. Do you play another Veil Temple? Probably not, because you do not have... Actually, you do have ways to proc it. Because the second Veil Temple procs, you can go for the Crescendum, and then you can go for something like Draw with Spell Cascade, you can go for a Hush, you have options.
Yeah, he got lots of options for this one, and the TF actually triggers as well. So the TF is practically free at this point of time, with 2 Vault Temple in the field, and I don't think playing the third Vault Temple could be is safe in a sense, as it's taking too much bench space, and you kind of need blockers moving forward if the Master deck actually develops a wider board compared to what you have.
Let's see what is the decision. He finally decides to go for the Twisted Fate. It is the better option because you don't want to lock your board down with 3 Wealth Temples. While they look huge and they look like a huge advantage, it's just temporary because you are breaking 3 unit slots.
So here we see a red card going in, taking out that Bright Steel Protector. So he has an option to actually remove one of his creatures, one of his units with single combat, taking out the Boxtopus. That could be possible as well, as he has so many ways of controls and creature removal and combat spells in Keyistyq hand. So it really, and we know that Soggy don't have a Bastion as well, so he kind of have to cheat his way through, and hopefully Keyistyq has to respect the Bastion, and he wouldn't do anything funky against Soggy.
He doesn't need to do anything funky, but now he might just go for the single combat on the TF, and that TF is not going to level anytime soon. He cannot go on the kill on Aphelios by any means. Yeah, those are your options.
Yeah, so this is probably the best time that he could remove the TF with the Screeching Dragon.
Like, your Screeching Dragon is dying anyways. Why wouldn't you make it more useful and kill 2 units, or at least try to kill 2 more units?
Yes, and this single combat coming in from Keyistyq is not exactly the best. And looking at his hand right now, it's basically a dead hand. Soggy is just going to power drive his way over, and a repost from Keyistyq, and it's not enough. If all Soggy needs to do right now is to fill the board and go for a really clean open attack next turn,
this is another moment of
so much advantage
at its best.
Like, Fiora Shen is so weak to breaking and
we can go for
Burble
Fish, and we can go for Mind Meld and try to get little. We make our opponent make use of the deny, but at the same time they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, as of right now, like, Keyistyq is drawing into a Bright Steel Protector. I don't think that is gonna be enough. Like, an open attack is really clean, is really needed. He has 2 Pale Cascade.
He can go for double Pale Cascade, to be fair, and try to win the game with it.
There's no way that this the Fiora Shen could deal with this combat, and I think that is gonna be GG for this game.
Mm.
So yeah, we are moving on to game number 3 in the grand finals right now, with Keyistyq going up against Soggyslopster with a Fiora Shen mirror for game number 3. It could be anyone's game at this point. You know, we know that Fiora Shen is just nasty and is known for breaking to itself, and it really depends on right now who is the deck that breaks first, and you know, which player actually has the upper hand with Keyistyq versus Soggyslopster with a Fiora Shen mirror.
I think Soggy had his own or has his own bricks early on in the last round and this round in the beginning. So I think all the bad luck has gone away, and you can see that because I cannot think about a more perfect hand that you can have. Okay, now it's even better.
Now look at both players' hand. Both players have almost the same hand going up against each other. They have like both Fiora and Shen, and it's gonna be smooth sailing. So in this, based on your experience, who would have the upper hand, or what actually concludes this matchup with such, you know, similar hand coming from both players?
It essentially is going to come down to the trades. Whoever enables better trades during their turns is going to come out victorious, or who is able to bait the opponent into committing, going greedy, and then getting beaten by that greediness.
Yeah, so we see a Fiora immediately coming down from Soggy. And I think, you know, Keyistyq will have the same answer with the Fiora as well. And this
Wait,
1:1 trade
wait, he
is,
disrespects. Oh, he disrespected the sharp side there, though.
yes, but the 1:1 trade is just you know, what he, not what he wants, right? Because Keyistyq has the second Fiora, and I think right now Soggy is kind of in a pinch. And Keyistyq hand is just the one, it's the player with the better hand as of right now.
Yeah, he definitely has the better hand as of now. But don't forget that Green-Red Caretaker can enable some sweet trades sometimes, or can become a menace. Is in some regard like the Star Shepherd in TK Raka. It is not a win con all the times, but you do need to mind it.
Yeah, so I think, you know, Soggy, the only way that Soggy could do right now is, the only move is to pass, and you know, hopefully Keyistyq goes for the attack, which is highly unlikely that he would just take this, you know, Caretaker for the kill. And I think here it's just probably gonna go downhill unless Soggy finds a way out of this sticky situation with the Fiora.
They might see a very important thing being done by Keyistyq here. He might decide to go for his Shen instead of the dragon, and that is very important because sometimes you just want to play off curve when you are Fiora Shen. You want to represent denies, you want to represent 4 mana protection spells. So playing off curve, getting 1 mana up above the free spell mana is very great.
Yeah, and right here, you know, that Fiora has a good kill on the Caretaker. So I think, what, you know, he has to try to protect the Caretaker, right, or not allow the Fiora to get any picks. So probably you know, he could single combat off and try to kill off the Caretaker, or he could even go for that repose just to protect and not allowing that Fiora to go for any trades.
Whatever you commit, you need to have a backup plan, and Soggy seems to have the backup plan. If he goes for the riposte, he has backup plans in single combats, in denies. If he goes for the concerted strike, he has also backup plans in deny and single combats, maybe the barriers as well. So he is covered no matter what he decides to go for.
Yeah, so Soggy has options. Soggy has, you know, exactly what he needs, and if he, all he needs to do is just control the board, right? As of right now, whoever could control the board has the win in this series, and the problem might be the Shen, or it might be the Fiora. It's likely to be the Shen instead of the Fiora, based on what it looks over here.
Yeah, the main problem is not the Fiora. Fiora is just an alternate win con, but what makes Shen Fiora so resilient is Shen, because you can keep your units on the board, you can keep bonking at your opponent's Nexus, and Shen is going to make sure that it enables good trades, so your units do not take much damage. Fiora is such a side win condition at this point.
Yeah, so, you know, here we see Keyistyq giving up that Shen, but in his hand, we know he has another copy of Shen as well. So at this point, Keyistyq is having the champion advantage against Soggy, having like both the champion, having two copies of the champion in his hand, and Shen and River Shaper is not gonna push too much problem, like too much pressure, but that River Shaper is gonna draw him tons of spells.
Unless there is a kill on the River Shaper next turn, and I think you do want the kill on the River Shaper. You go for the single combat. There is going to be a single combat on the 4/5 that is going to get it killed, and there actually is an answer from Keyistyq. He can just play sharp side, Soggyslopster completely naked, and that dragon is going to enable 2 trades.
Yeah, so the value for 1:2, right? And Keyistyq has a really clean attack with the Fiora. As in, he still has the Fiora on the board, and Demacia against Demacia, or whoever has the wider board, kind of still gets the high up of this matchup. And I think as of right now, Keyistyq is just gonna roll over Soggyslopster because he has the better board state as of right now. Oh.
Triple Brightsteel Protector. You need to start playing them at some point, but they can't do much. They are just going to get killed by Fiora. You can try protecting them there, but that is also bad.
Yeah, this is not gonna be enough, and this is not good for Soggy moving forward as well. Next turn Keyistyq has the Brightsteel Protector. Here comes he has the Brightsteel formation, and here comes a Brightsteel Protector protecting the Shen, going in for the full attack. And dude, this is a hell of a lot of damage, bringing Soggy down to 9, almost taking the Nexus down by health. Add a Notify as well. Soggy is in such big trouble.
If there would have been a relentless pursuit, the game might have been over on that spot with the Notify backup.
But I think right now, Keyistyq has that Brightsteel formation. There is no reason for him to not drop it this turn just to level up the Shen. And I think Soggy it's just it for Soggy at this point.
Yeah, you do see the Brightsteel formation. You do look a bit of your hand, and you realize that there's nothing you can do, and that puts an